women and children. Your Excellency, welcome. Good morning.
Well, good morning. Thank you for this space. I'm very happy to tell more about my experience. I'm the youngest First Lady, not only in my country, but also around the world. And I'm the First Lady influencer, so it's something that has never been experienced before.
So.
But it's an example of how it's working this new generation. My English isn't that bad, but I will do it in Spanish because we're streaming right now. And I want the people in my country will be able to see it, listen in, and understand everything. So I hope the translation works well.
You will do great. I love this, and I want to highlight it and emphasize it. First Lady influencer. First time I hear about it. I think you are the only one in history who did that, and they have this title. So a single post today, Your Excellency, can shift national conversation. A video can mobilize millions before a government even schedule a press conference. From your experience, both as someone who built a following and someone who now sits inside the government, where did you see first realize that creators had become as powerful as an institution in shaping how people think?
Bueno, ahora lo voy a hacer en español. Estamos, creo que, en una nueva era digital en el que la información está pasando demasiado rápido. No es como era hace bastantes años, en el que teníamos que esperar que la información pase primero en el periódico o por medio de la televisión, sino que lo que está pasando en este momento lo podemos comunicar tan rápido por Twitter, por Facebook, por Instagram. Todo va demasiado rápido. Y creo que gracias a esta nueva era digital que hay mucha más conciencia del rol que cumple un comunicador, un influenciador. Yo en mi país no tengo un rol específico, la primera dama no tiene presupuestos, pero creo que estas plataformas, esta exposición que uno recibe te permite servir de una manera distinta y de conectar también con las necesidades de la gente de otra manera.
You know, I understood some of it because this doesn't work. But it has to do...
Or everyone else is working or it's not? Just
exactly, that's the question also. Is it working?
We're checking.
Okay, so it's not working, yeah? Okay. So let's do it again.
Well, I will try to do it on English, but
yes.
I doesn't promise it will be the best. But what I was telling is that we're living in a new generation in which the information is going very fast. What we're seeing right now is not like it used to be years before, that you have to wait to the information to pass on television or in the papers in the next day. What is happening now here, if it's happening in Twitter, you can see it on TikTok, on Facebook, on Instagram. It's going very fast. And it's a different way also to connect. In my country, the First Lady didn't have an official role. It doesn't have like money to support the different projects. But when you have a platform like this and in any way you can represent all these voices and all these women that comes via an Instagram message, is impossible not to take that opportunity to help, to serve the people that in any way, in any model have trust or see and hope in you.
Yeah, and Your Excellency, way before your journey with Mr. President, your husband, when did you realize, I'm still in the first question, when did you realize this is it, social media is it is powerful, it is impactful, I have to be one of the first creators? When did you realize? Do you remember?
To be honest, I didn't see it like I want to be the first creator. I see it as a way to help.
Nice.
And I think what it at the beginning looks like a weakness, it becomes my strength, because people want to connect with you. People want to be listened, even if I don't have an official role, but I can talk about my husband's role in the government. This way of communication and this platform and this way to connect help the people to feel that they are listen and they are connect with the person that will represent them.
I love this because during 2023 elections in Ecuador, your digital presence was credited with reaching younger voters in a way traditional campaigning doesn't reach, honestly. The same way in any country, it doesn't work. Yours, it worked. That is a clear example of digital voice moving a society. But influence at the scale comes with a risk. It can be risking the misinformation, the polarization, the manipulation. How should we think about responsibility that comes with that kind of reach? There's a risk and there's a responsibility on that creator.
Of course there is. There is a big responsibility, but you have to have so much conscience with what you communicate because it can be taken in a positive or in a negative way. And for example, just with my story, with my experience, even if I didn't have an official role, what I communicate can help or can maybe destroy the government work if you didn't do it in the right way. So you have to be very conscious, think before everything that you communicate, because I was an influencer, I was a nutritionist influencer, and yes, I know how to communicate with people, how to connect with them, and I have like a group of people that trust me, but it's not the same when you're in this exposure and when you're talking, when you in a certain way represent the government, because everything can be underestimated, can be changed, especially when you have a group of people that want you to fail. When you're in campaign, when you're in politics, will always be that other side that want to transform what are you saying or the vision that the people is having about you. Sure. So it's a big responsibility, of course, a big honor, because you are talking for the people. But you have to take so much care on the way you communicate everything.
So there was a time when a government communicated through press releases, press conferences, official speeches. Now, citizens anywhere in the world, and definitely in Ecuador as well, expect a story, a real story, a voice, a human voice, not an official speech like before. Have you seen this shift inside Ecuador as well?
Yes, right now, as I said before, what it looks as a weakness at the beginning, it becomes our strength. My husband is the youngest president elected, not only in our country, but in the region. And I'm also the youngest first lady around the world. And at the beginning, for the old politics and all the politic way to do it was like a weakness, because they are not used to see how you communicate things, but it become our strength. In my country, we're a really young country. 40% of our people is between 15 and 35 years old, and they are very connected to social media. And the way we communicated with the trends, with the music, the proposals, the things that are going on, or also if you want to respond or accelerate something that is happening, the way you do it is very important, because people right now don't trust everything that they see. They don't trust the old way of politics, all these informations. They want to see the true sides, because that's what social media makes you do, makes you connect, makes you see like the other side of the people.
You know, the Gen Z, the younger generation, they have their own way of seeing things, shaping their own ideas, have their own narrative. Do you think this will shift in the policy maker making a decision as well? In Ecuador or anywhere else, actually, maybe you are leading a trend in the world with you and your husband in Ecuador.
Well, my husband is like an example of what works. And you see all politics, all men that are never used to, that have been in politics like so many years before us, doing the trends, being in this social era, because that's what works, that's what connects, that's what communicates, and you need to connect with people to get the trust. Young people, and also there's a lot of old people as well that are in this new social media era that want to understand more, want to hear more, and want to see a difference, because you need to have a difference between each participant.
Yeah. You launched Projekta Anna, a program supporting women and children that reach over 230,000 people, largely built through digital mobilization and private partnership, rather than the traditional process that we know. That is content translating into concrete impact. What is this this program that you have created?
I think my foundation is example of what is an action, what a proposal become an action. I created this foundation just 2 years ago from zero. When I started the foundation, I was 24 years old. And can you imagine this young lady going to all this private, going to all these meetings with the private sector, and with this background as a nutrition influencer, wanting to create a foundation focused on giving opportunities to women victims of violence, asking for help. And at the beginning, no one wants to give the help, but my background helped me to connect with all these other women that use the platform to be heard, and creating an ecosystem, because it become an ecosystem in which the academia, the private sector, the international organization, the social media, the influencers, in each side, in each platform, gives a real opportunity to these women. We have helped 500,000 women in just 2 years, given them not temporary help, but real help, real opportunities, education, employment, all these herramientas, sorry, my Spanish, to be able to success and to grow.
Where do you want to take this foundation? Beyond Ecuador, more inside Ecuador? What is your plan for it?
Sorry?
The plan for the foundation, where do you want to take it in the future?
Help the more quantity of women possible. When I started this foundation, I started because of the stories I started listening. There's a lot of women in my country that have been victims of violence. Our numbers are something that you have to, that is not easy to not involucrate. Yeah. 7 out of 10 women in Ecuador have been victims of violence. And that was the reason why I chose to liderate this foundation, because even if I didn't have an official role in my country, this platform helps you. Yeah. It helps the private sector, because being an influencer helps us to communicate. So when a private company comes and gives a donation, you communicate it in a way that you help them. So this foundation is an example that when you work together, you can see results in the people that is listening to you.
We started talking about the responsibility of a creator. I want also another question for you to give a message to the young generation in Ecuador, how to use that tool that is, of course, social media, and in era of deep fake news, a lot of things going on. What is your message? What is their responsibility when they create content, any content?
That you have a big responsibility, because people who is listening to you, people who is trusting you, is my Spanish. I'm sorry.
You can say it in Spanish. It's okay, because it's a message for the young people in Ecuador. I think you can say it in Spanish.
Creo que conlleva mucha responsabilidad. Las redes sociales involucran ganarte la confianza de la gente, y la gente que cree en ti busca también que de una u otra manera soluciones en ciertas maneras su calidad de vida, porque por medio de las plataformas puedes hacerlo, ofreces oportunidades, ofreces historias, ofreces recomendaciones, especialmente cuando estás desde la política, cuando involucras algo tan importante como el futuro de la gente, las decisiones que pueden tomar hacia sus gobernantes, creo que hay que tener mucha conciencia y mucha responsabilidad.
I think I understood a little bit, but it's to use this platform to talk about the history, about the story.
I think you have to have a real responsibility because you're right now that the influencers are being used into politics, you're playing with something so important as the future of your country, as the future of the people is living in there. So you have to take it seriously.
And come to the last question. I find it the most important question. Do you think, Mr. President, at home, back home, that means in Ecuador, acknowledge the importance of your role during the campaign with your platform, with your social media? Does he acknowledge this?
Of course. I think we're a team, and that's the most important thing. We're a team, and we help from the place we are. Of course, the role he's making is biggest and have so much more responsibilities. But from the place I am, I think I complement the things that the government is doing, and I help, and that is the most important thing. It didn't depend to help. It didn't depend to have an official role. It depends in you, and if you really want to do it, if you really want to serve, and you really want to help the change the life of all these people.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency Lavinia Vilbonesi, the First Lady of the Republic of Ecuador. Thank you so much.